I'll give one tip away that the president has mentioned. He will say to that murderous former KGB colonel, that thug who runs the Russian Federation, you will negotiate now, or the aid that we have given to Ukraine thus far
Right.
will look like peanuts. That's how he will force those gentlemen to come to an arrangement that stops the bloodshed.
This is my video update on this Sunday afternoon, November the 24th. Coming to you from Athens, Greece. Let's talk about some news. And yesterday we had either ATACMS or drones hitting the Kursk region, trying to hit the Kursk region. There are some reports which claim 5 ATACMS were launched into Kursk. There are other reports which claim that these were UAVs. I've read some reports which say it was a combination of both. I don't know exactly what was fired into Kursk yesterday. Obviously, if it was ATACMS, then we're seeing another round of escalation, because this would be the United States firing ATACMS into Kursk after Russia's big warning with the Orezhnik missile hitting Dnipro, and Putin's statements after that missile hit Dnipro. If this was UAVs and drones, then this is not another escalation with regards to collective West attacks into pre-2014 Russia. My sense of what happened in Kursk is that these were UAVs and drones and not ATACMS. But I'm not 100% sure of that. That's just my sense of what was fired into Kursk. Anyway, France, the flip-flopper Macron. Well, he is a flippin' and a floppin'. And now he's a flippin' and a floppin' France into war with Russia. The French foreign minister, in an interview with BBC, which I believe will be aired today, said that France has greenlit scalp missile strikes into pre-2014 Russian territory, following on the United States and on the decisions by the UK. France, as was expected, has given the Zelensky regime permission to fire Scalp missiles into Russia. The Scalp missiles are Storm Shadow missiles, or actually I should say the Storm Shadow missiles are Scalp missiles. And we know that Storm Shadows and Scalps cannot be successfully fired into Russian territory without the participation of the United States of America. The Biden White House, the U.S. military, they are the ones that have to fire the Scalp or Storm Shadow missiles into Russia, at least provide the targeting and the surveillance and the programming. Not to mention that the Scalp missiles have U.S. components and parts. They're the ones that, at the end of the day, have to ultimately give permission not only to the Zelensky regime, but they're the ones that have to effectively provide all of the tech to fire the missiles into Russia. So France says that they have given permission to Zelensky. The Biden White House has given permission to Zelensky. The Pentagon has decided to also fire Scalp missiles into Russia. So the Pentagon, the United States military, they're now firing ATACMS into pre-2014 Russia. They have fired Storm Shadow missiles into pre-2014 Russia. And possibly they will be firing missiles, Scalp missiles, into pre-2014 Russia. But it's going to be France that is going to take the responsibility. They're going to be held accountable for what could be another round of collective West escalation with Russia. So the flip-flopper Macron, he's flipping towards war with Russia, but this time around, Macron, once those Scout missiles are fired into Russia, you can't flip-flop back. You know, you're flipping to war with Russia, but once those missiles start flying into Russia, there's no flopping back and saying, "Oh no, we don't want war with Russia." No, Macron. Once those missiles are fired, you are at war with Russia. France is at war with Russia. There's no turning back from this one. But the foreign minister also hinted at French troops in Ukraine as well. We're back to this narrative of French troops, boots on the ground, going into Ukraine. Remember that one from 6 months ago or a year ago? France sending troops into Odessa. Well, the foreign minister, he's talking about that once again. Jean-Noël Barrot, the French foreign minister. No red lines, he said, with regards to Project Ukraine. No red lines. All right. You want no red lines? Russia's going to give you no red lines, France. If that's what you want, that is what you are going to get. So that was the big news from yesterday. Absolutely expected. I don't think this should be a surprise to anybody that France would eventually follow on the decisions made by the Biden White House and by the most boring man in politics, Keir Starmer. But next in line is Germany and Taurus missiles. Or actually, let me change that. Next in line is going to be the Biden White House approving JASSM missiles. JSAMs, I guess is how you would pronounce it. That's going to be next on the long-range missile escalation escalator. And then we're going to have the Taurus missiles. That's how I see this going, because Reuters is reporting that the Biden White House is very close to green-lighting these JSAM, JASSM missiles to the Zelensky regime. What we don't know is whether these are going to be the JSAMs that are that have a range of 360 kilometers, or whether these are the JSAMs that have a range of 900 kilometers. That's what we don't know at the moment. But for Reuters to report that the Biden White House is thinking of approving this, they're very close to approving this, tells me that they've already approved this. And once the collective West media reports that the Biden White House has approved this, that means that the next day you're going to probably see the JSAMs being launched into Russia, into Russian territory. We just don't know the range, 360 or 900. Obviously, 900 kilometers is going to be a much bigger escalation than 360 kilometers, which is a little bit more than the range of the ATACMS, but 900 kilometers, well, that's going to change things in a big way. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of nut missiles being launched by Russia into various targets. What those targets are going to be, I don't know. But I think the nut is going to do a lot of damage, the Oreshnik, because there's no reverse gear when dealing with the Biden White House and the collective West. So they are continuing to escalate, or at least they're definitely leaning towards more escalation, even after seeing the tremendous power of the Oreshnik. So Zaluzhny, the one-time commander of the Ukraine military, and the man that the collective West media, from the Wall Street Journal to the Washington Post, the man, Der Spiegel as well, the German media. I don't only want to say the U.S. collective West media. I don't only want to say the U.S., but also the German media. They claim that Zelensky is the man behind the Nord Stream pipeline sabotage. He also wanted to blow up, according to the German media, Spiegel, Turk Stream as well. He wanted to blow up Turk Stream, but he only ended up blowing up Nord Stream. This is not me saying this. This is what Spiegel has reported. This is what the Wall Street Journal has reported. This is what the BBC has reported. This is what the Washington Post has reported. They claim that Zelensky was the mastermind behind Nord Stream. Now he's the ambassador to the UK, and he's giving interviews and giving speeches. Am I the only one that thinks this is so freaking bizarre? That here you have the man that allegedly, according to the collective West, allegedly was behind blowing up a pipeline, the biggest, most important pipeline for Germany and for much of Europe. And here's this guy that they claim was the mastermind behind it all, hanging out and giving interviews in the UK as ambassador of Ukraine to the UK. Germany. Man, so embarrassing for Germany, man. So embarrassing for the collective West. Anyway, Zelensky, who's also a Banderite, by the way, a very committed Banderite. He was speaking at some event, and he said that the collective West, Europe, NATO, they are in no position to fight a war of attrition with Russia. Basically, he was saying that if NATO and the collective West went to war with Russia, not Ukraine, not a proxy war via Ukraine, but a hot war with Russia, that they would lose. That's what he was basically hinting at. He said that it would take Russia 2 to 3 months to exhaust all of the West's air defense systems. That is what Zelensky said at this event. I believe this was taking place in, I want to say it was taking place in the UK, but then again, Zelensky was speaking via, I think it was speaking via Zoom or video conference. So anyway, I don't know what event this was, but that's what Zelensky said. That in 2 to 3 months, if there was ever a war of attrition with Russia, the West, Europe would have all of their air defenses completely exhausted within a matter of months. So that was an interesting statement from the UK ambassador, from the Ukraine ambassador to the UK, whose part-time job is blowing up pipelines, allegedly blowing up pipelines. Zelensky and Gilligan, the Andromeda yacht. So the defense minister of Germany, Pistorius, a very hawkish German defense minister, he gave an interview to Spiegel, and he said that, what did Pistorius say? He said that Russia is now a war economy. False. That is false, but that's his cope. I guess Pistorius has to cope somehow. Anyway, he said that Russia has now shifted into a war economy, and that Russia produces more weapons, more artillery, more missiles, more weapons in 3 months than all of Europe does in a year. Man, Russia makes a lot of shovels and washing machine chips. Where are they getting all these washing machine chips, man? Are you guys having trouble with your washing machines? If you are having trouble with your washing machines, if something's not working, maybe the Russians have taken the chip. I don't know. I don't know. My washing machine was a little bit off the other day. Maybe some Russian spies or something got into my apartment and took my washing machine chip. I don't know. I'm missing some shovels as well. Not sure what happened to my shovels. Man, Russia's producing a lot of shovels. A whole lot of shovels and nuts. Lot of nuts, a lot of hazelnuts. Yeah, in 3 months, they outproduce the entirety of Europe. The gas station masquerading as a country outproduces Europe. How is that even possible? I believed Ursula when she said the Russian economy was in tatters. I believed her. Was Ursula lying to me? Was she lying to you? Would Ursula do such a thing? I don't know. No, Ursula would never lie to us. Not Ursula. Not Ursula Vander Pirate. She would never lie. Pirates don't lie. Pirate Schultz doesn't lie. Vander Pirate doesn't lie. But Pistorius is saying that Russia is outproducing the EU, all of Europe. So Podolyak, he is denying that the Orezhnik even exists. That is what Podolyak said the other day. He said that what Russia fired was just an ICBM. That was it. It was just an ICBM with 6 warheads. 6 different warheads of 6, right? That's all it was. It was just a normal ICBM with all this plasma, hypersonic plasma around it, and six different warheads, and six separate strikes from 6 different warheads. Annalena math, 6 times 6 is 566, 360. I don't know. That is what Podolyak said. It wasn't Orezhnik. It wasn't a nut. It's just an ICBM. That's what Podolyak is saying. He's in denial. He is in denial. He's going through the 6 stages of grief, right? Are there 6 stages or are there 5 stages? I don't know. But he's in the denial phase. It was just an ICBM. Podolyak, what is this Orezhnik? Что это? Что это, Podolyak? How did Russia weaponize nuts in this way, Podolyak? I have nuts on my desk. I have nuts in my refrigerator. I eat these nuts. How did Russia weaponize these nuts, Podolyak? This is not true. You must go on television and tell them this is not a nut. Nuts don't do these things. I'm talking nonsense today. I'm talking a lot of nonsense. No, that's what Podolyak said, though, in all seriousness. He said this was just an ICBM. That's it. No need to worry. Just an ICBM. Like that makes anything better. Hypersonic, plasma, ICBM. With no payload that has turned this facility, what's it called? The Yuzmesh facility in Dnipro, that's turned it into dust. We're getting reports from people in Dnipro, citizens of Dnipropetrovsk, who claim that the area that was hit by the Orezhnik is just dust, just disintegrated from this strike. Denial, man. Podolyak, why are you in denial, Podolyak? Why are you in denial? Bloomberg is reporting that Bidenopolis, he is in a rush to bolster Ukraine's position in this conflict. Let's see what Bloomberg is reporting. Biden rushes to bolster Ukraine before Trump takes control. President-elect has questioned supports pledged to end the war. But decisions now could help both Trump and Kiev in talks, yes. 5D chess, right? Trump is playing 5D chess. Biden is playing 5D chess. Biden's just angry, man. He's an angry, bitter, old man. That is what Biden is. And he's always been angry and bitter. For 50 years, he's always been angry, bitter, and not very bright. Middle manager, Company yes man. That's Biden. He's always been a deep state company yes man. That's how he became president. Not because he's clever or he understands how to play 3D or 4D or 5D chess. None of that. He's just a company man who says yes to whatever the deep state tells him to do. And as he has gotten older, he's gotten more and more angry. And then Obama coup d'etat him, and Trump won the elections in a big way, and he became very angry and very insane. And Biden's not really making the decisions anyway. Most of these decisions are being made by other forces at work, directing Sullivan and Blinken and the neocons, the Kagans and the Newlands, who are at the National Endowment for Democracy. Bloomberg is saying that Biden, in the final 2 months of his presidency, he is now doing everything he can to better Ukraine's position vis-a-vis Russia. And the interesting part about this is that the Trump administration, they're looking at all these decisions made, and they're playing their own game of 3D or 4D or 26D chess, because many of the decisions that Biden is making are going to, according to Bloomberg, according to the experts that they've interviewed, are going to strengthen Ukraine's position as they fight Russia. And in turn, this is going to strengthen Trump's hand as he negotiates with the Putin. Such nonsense, man. All Biden is doing is he's not only destroying Ukraine, he's not strengthening Trump's hand in any way, shape, or form. He's strengthening Russia's hand. He's going to end up completely destroying Ukraine, and who knows? We may be looking at the end of NATO as well, depending on what Russia decides to hit. Because whatever Russia decides to hit, if they do decide to hit targets outside of Ukraine, there is absolutely nothing that the collective West can do to counter Russia's technology, weapon technology, outside of nuclear war. That's it. That's all the collective West can do to counter Russia. Which would then mean we're all toast. But with conventional weapons, missiles like the Orezhnik, man, NATO has no answer. The United States has no answer. Zero. They can't respond to what we saw the other day. And remember, Putin says that Russia has more surprises on the way. So that's Bloomberg. Let me read you actually some of what Bloomberg is saying, some of the nonsense, the delusion that Bloomberg is reporting. Let me pull up this article here. The first paragraph from this article says, in the waning days of his administration, President Bidenopoulos is pushing to strengthen Ukraine's position against Russia before the return of Donald Trump to the White House. So from the first paragraph, Bloomberg explains what all of this insanity from the Biden White House is about, right? Trying to make things difficult for the Trump White House. Biden's recent steps to include, most notably, allowing Kiev to hit military targets deeper inside Russia, a move that was immediately seen by Moscow and the Trump camp as a needless escalation. Also in quick succession, this week, the White House approved sending anti-personnel landmines, forgave nearly $5 billion in debt, and sanctioned a major Russian bank that handles payment for natural gas. Basically, Biden is doing everything to not only help Ukraine, but to hurt Europe, to hurt Hungary, specifically Hungary, and to wash whatever money is left. Right? Those three things. To give Ukraine whatever weapons they can, not going to change the trajectory of the war, but give them the weapons that are going to make any kind of negotiations or ceasefire or deal, whatever Trump has in mind, impossible. They've sanctioned Gazprom Bank, which was the bank that was used by Hungary, actually, by various European countries to continue to get pipeline gas into Europe, into Central Europe. I think via Ukraine and Turk Stream. And it was all going through Gazprom Bank, which was not sanctioned. They still had access to SWIFT, so now that's gone. So this is Biden going after Hungary, trying to hurt Hungary and Orban. Orban is allied with Trump. And what else? And yeah, and $6 billion to Ukraine, $5 billion loan forgiveness, $9 billion to Ukraine, whatever money is left, he's trying to wash it through the Ukraine washing machine spin cycle, right? Trying to get all that money into Ukraine and then get that money out of Ukraine in the next 2 months. Whatever happened to the $60 billion or the $64 billion, $69 billion that Congress approved 6-7 months ago? Where did that money go? I'll tell you where that money went. Oof, it's gone. It's gone. United States of America, $64 billion or whatever it was, $69 billion, gone just like that. And he approved $9 billion last week and like another $9 billion 2 weeks ago. And he's forgiving $5 billion in loans. I've lost track, man, of all the money that they have funneled in through the Ukraine washing machine. I've lost track. But whatever money they have left, whatever money is lying around, they want to run it through Ukraine. And they've got 2 months to do all of this. That's why they're in such a rush. The White House and Pentagon are also rushing to use up the last of the funds appropriated by Congress for Ukraine's defense, which stands roughly at $9 billion. The U.S. has so far provided more than $64 billion to Ukraine in military aid, according to the State Department. President Biden has committed to making sure that every dollar we have at our disposal will be pushed out to the door between now and January 20th, Blinken told reporters at NATO headquarters earlier this month, referring to the date of Trump's inauguration. Every dollar. Every dollar the Biden administration has, they're going to send it through Ukraine. Jeez. The most important policy project of the Biden administration. That's what he's going to go down in history for. That's what his presidency is going to be defined by. Ukraine. That's it. That's the only thing he was interested in. That's all he wanted to do was get money into Ukraine and get money out of Ukraine and start a proxy war and overthrow Putin. That was what his entire presidency was all about. His presidency had nothing to do with the U.S., had nothing to do with domestic policy in the U.S., had nothing to do with infrastructure bills or tax plans or tax cuts or anything. Had nothing to do with any of that stuff. All of that stuff was a sideshow. His entire presidency was focused on Project Ukraine. Bloomberg says that there are limits to Biden's ability to enhance weapon supplies to Ukraine, as most of the remaining money can only be used for weapons already in Pentagon stockpiles. Drawing it down too far would leave the U.S.'s own defense at risk. The Biden administration had also considered publicly calling for an official invitation to join NATO, but decided against it, given the slim likelihood of success in the short term. Putin has also framed membership, which the allies said in July was inevitable, as a casus belli. Yeah, they wanted to, the insanity of the Biden White House, the insanity of these guys, they wanted to get Ukraine into NATO during his last 2 months of being president. That's how insane the Biden White House has become, man. Putin has broken Biden's brain, man. Trump has broken Biden's brain, but Putin has broken Biden's freaking brain. You know why Putin has broken Biden's brain? And when I mean Biden, you know what I mean when I say Biden, the whole apparatus in and around Biden. Because Putin continuously outsmarts them, and they just can't stomach it. They can't stomach the fact that Russia continuously outplays them. They can't come to grips with that. Maybe, just maybe, here's a thought. maybe, just maybe, they're just smarter than you guys. Just accept it, that they're just smarter than you are. I don't know. Is this really something to take the world into nuclear meltdown for? Because some other administration halfway around the world is smarter than you? Is that justification for nuclear war? Oh, man. Yeah, they wanted to get it into NATO, but they realized it was not going to happen because, well, Turkey would not be for it. Not many people talk about Turkey, but Turkey would not be for Ukraine joining NATO, nor would Hungary, Slovakia. A lot of countries would put a stop to it. Anyway, that's the Bloomberg article. And the article says that all of these decisions may play into the hands of the Trump administration as he negotiates with Russia. At the rate that Biden is moving with regards to escalating with Russia in Ukraine, I don't even think Trump's going to get the chance to negotiate with Putin. I think it's accelerating. All of this is just accelerating Russia's victory, not only against Ukraine, but against the entire collective West. It's just accelerating it. And Russia is coming out a lot stronger. It's looking a lot stronger. The entire world is looking at the weapons that Russia has, and they're just saying, man, Russia's completely checkmated NATO and the U.S. That's what the world is saying. That's what the global majority is saying as they're looking at Dorezhnik and all of the moves that Russia's making. Anyway, enough of that. Let's move on and talk about the North Korean troops in Kursk, of which now Ukraine media and Ukraine analysts are now coming out and admitting there are no North Korean troops in Russia. No joke. Ukraine media is now coming out and saying, no, there are no North Korean troops in Russia. We've seen no evidence of North Korean troops in Russia, in Kursk. The commanders in Kharkiv, the Ukraine military commanders in Kharkiv, are saying there's no. How are we doing on time? Let me speed this up. They're saying that there are no North Korean troops in the area, none. And they're even admitting. Some channels in Ukraine, some analysts in Ukraine are even admitting that the whole North Korean thing was just an excuse to green light ATACMS into Russian territory, the Biden White House's decision. They're even admitting that it was all a script to get Biden to have an excuse, to give the Biden White House an excuse to approve the ATACMS strikes into Russia. That's what Ukraine media is saying. That's what Ukraine commanders are saying. But we've now pivoted. It's no longer about North Korean troops helping Putin win the war. No. Forget the North Korean troops. Forget them. Just forget the North Korean troops. Forget about them. Okay? Forget about them. There are stories which came out a couple of days ago, which claim that Ukraine has killed 500 North Korean soldiers in Kursk. No evidence, nothing, nothing to prove this. They've also taken out a North Korean general. They've also taken out a Russian general. There's all these stories talking about all of the devastation and damage that the mighty Zelensky military has done in Kursk, of which we have zero, zilch, nada, nichevo. Nothing to prove this. But aside from all of these stories, we're now pivoting away from North Korean soldiers. And we're now moving on to Houthi. Houthi soldiers helping Putin win the war against the collective West, against the Ukraine military. And this is coming from none other than the Financial Times. Russia recruits Yemeni mercenaries to fight in Ukraine. Mysterious Houthi-linked company duping men into joining Moscow's war machine. Houthis are now stepping up, stepping in and stepping up to help Putin win. Yep. If it wasn't for those Houthis, man, Russia would be in big trouble, right? Oh, boy. From the Financial Times as well, the very, very reputable Financial Times. So forget about North Koreans. Let's talk about those Houthis. So the Biden White House can come out with a statement in a week and say, we're approving the JSAMs to strike Russian territory because of the Houthis. That's going to be the excuse. Pathetic, man. Pathetic and sad. The collective West. Biden is making a fool of the collective West. He really is making a fool of the collective West, Bidenopolis. And we've still got 2 months of his idiocy. Anyway, Trump doing no better. I have to say it. Trump is doing no better. He appointed Gorka into his administration, man. Gorka. Oh my God. Really? Really, Trump? Gorka? What's Gorka's position? Let's see here. Deputy Assistant to President and Senior Director for Counterterrorism. I swear, man, Gorka wrote one book. Like, I think he wrote one book. Maybe he wrote 2 books. I don't know. He wrote a book on counterterrorism, and all of a sudden, he is the counterterrorism uber expert. Maybe he is. I don't know. Maybe he is, but he is no person to put anywhere near any government, any government in the world. Gorka should be no part of. But Trump put him in there. Trump put him in there. I don't know how important this position is. To be honest, I don't know if this is a very, very important position, how much influence it has, but nonetheless, he is now part of the foreign policy apparatus of the Trump administration. With each passing day, things are looking worse and worse in the Trump White House. Anyway, that was the news with Gorka. I know he appointed a Treasury Secretary, Scott. Oh, I don't even know. I'm not even going to try to guess. Let me see if I have an article for this. A Soros guy, Scott Bessent. I don't know much about him, so I'll talk about this in another video. I haven't had time to read up on this guy. All I know is that he used to work for Soros. That's all I know. Anyway, let's do a clown world. How we doing on time, man? All right, we're okay for a couple more minutes so that we can talk about Trudeau. Trudeau, man. At a Swift concert, at a Taylor Swift concert in Toronto, Trudeau was dancing the night away. He was dancing and singing to Taylor Swift as Montreal burned, right? Yeah, as Montreal burned, Justin Trudeau watches Taylor Swift while riots erupt in Montreal. Riots erupted overnight in parts of Montreal after pro-Palestinian and NATO protesters clashed with police officers, smashed windows of businesses, and even set vehicles ablaze in the downtown area. Canadian English language daily newspaper The Gazette, also known as the Montreal Gazette, reported that the protests coincided with the 70th annual session of NATO in Montreal, which kicked off on Friday and lasts through Monday. About 300 delegates from NATO member states and partner countries are expected to attend the weekend high-level event. So we have a NATO event taking place in Montreal, and we had protests and riots, according to Zero Hedge, of pro-Palestinian NATO protesters, and they clashed with police. I've seen the videos and the images of the protests and the riots, which did get violent. There are videos of a lot of property being damaged, windows being smashed. But as all of this is going down, as all of this is happening, Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, is in Toronto attending a Taylor Swift concert. And boy, was he dancing. He was dancing and singing. How old is Trudeau? How old is he? Trudeau is like a 15-year-old boy. Not even. I don't even know. Would a 15-year-old boy go to see Taylor Swift? I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe he was there with his daughter. I don't know. I don't know why he was there. But yeah, looks really bad. That looks really bad. Justin Trudeau. Just when you thought it couldn't get more embarrassing, we have all the images of Justin Trudeau dancing at a Swift concert. Who would have ever guessed that the Prime Minister of Canada is a Swiftie, or whatever it's called, a Swift fan, a Swiftie. These are the people leading the collective West into war with Russia. Boy, we're going to be fine. The world's going to be fine. Don't worry about a thing. Anyway, that's the video, everybody. The Duran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and X. Go to the Duran shop, pick up some merch, like the sweatshirt I am wearing today. In this video, like this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel. Let's get to 256,000 subscribers on YouTube. All right, everybody, take care.